Okay, I wanted to discuss something about Generation 9. My microphone's not the greatest. I think we really need to get a better one. I know I haven't been on the internet in a while, but that's mainly because I don't really have the time for it. Also, YouTube is a major problem right now. Generation 9. People are saying that, oh, they did so well with Legends Arceus. How could it be this bad with Generation 9? I'm here to tell you facts. We do not know when they started development on Generation 9. It could be right after the final DLC of Sword and Shield. They started developing it, and they only had 3 years to get an open world experience. If it even was initially intended to be that. And Pokemon Legends Arceus came out with a pseudo open world aspect, and it did really, really well. So they're like, oh, we need to make this open world game, so we gotta scrap every idea that we had. We gotta make this open world. We need to rush this. Don't care about any graphical issues. We need to get this out now, kind of thing. Because how I see it is that I'm just at the battle. Is that they started development right after the final DLC. Now hip now. I don't like hip now. Uh, since right after the final DLC, they started development. That's how it happens. Meanwhile, with Legends Arceus, they could have had that in development for who knows how long. So it could have been in development for 7 years, 6 years. Mm, I don't think any of us knows really, because it's a spin-off, and at the end of the day, no matter what you say, it is a spin-off. So while yes, it does have some issues and it does have problems, uh, it's not really that big of an issue here. Because saying, oh well, this happened here and this happened there, like, it won't change anything. It can't change anything. So you really shouldn't be that upset about it. Oh, oh. Oh. Oh dear. Oh god. Oh, that was a flower trick. Of course. Getting out of there. So instead of complaining about it, try to motivate them to actually do decent the next time around. Whoa. Nice. Let's knock off. Haha. Oh. Yeah, that's just my 2 cents about it. You're just hoping. uh, revival blessing. I love yous. Um, Yeah, this was always going to be a sack. Now the question is, will he swap out, or will he stay in? He stayed in. Well, I know that. No. Oh well. Of course. Sometimes I really hate random battles for just making it where you don't get anything good. Now he's gonna bullet punch. There it is. Anyway. Yeah, I don't understand why people are upset about it. Because we do not know what's going on behind the scenes. And if you think you know, you actually don't. Because they could just tell the world how, oh, sorry, we were just trying to do this kind of thing. And also, for all you people who are like, look at Breath of the Wild, look how good it is. I feel like you, of all people, forget how stinking empty Breath of the Wild was. Like, seriously. Yes, it's a very vast open world, but whenever you're fighting a boss, it's basically just the boss. No sudden enemy ambushes unless you lure an enemy all the way over there. There's nothing around it. There's nothing around those bosses. So, in actuality, yeah, well, yes, it's a very open world, and yes, it does have a lot of things going for it. The times when there's very big graphical issues is when there's multiple large enemies in rain. And usually with the large enemies, there's like a maximum of 3. You know, in Brain, uh, in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, there's always Pokemon around you. They thought the maximum amount would be good in, I believe it was 25. But whenever you entered water, there was basically a sphere of Pokemon spawning. There could be Pokemon that spawned on the water and started flying, or they spawned above the water flying. Then there's Pokemon on the layer of water, and then there's Pokemon underwater. Essentially, what I'm saying is that the reason why it was so laggy in water is because you had 25 Pokemon immediately in your vicinity. And anywhere you went, whenever one Pokemon despawned, a new one spawns immediately. It was too much for the Switch to handle. It's not that powerful of a system. Get over it. Okay, just get over that. And stop using Breath of the Wild as an example. Breath of the Wild is extremely empty for how vast it is. It's nothing like Scarlet and Violet. Scarlet and Violet, there's Pokemon everywhere. And it has to calculate where you are at any given time so that it knows which Pokemon to spawn in at any given time and what sandwich effects you have to know, okay, we need to boost the odds of shiny Pokemon that are this type. And if there's only one type in one location, it's like, oh, well, we're just going to need to spawn a bunch of these until, like, oh, random shiny. And I'm pretty sure the most amount of Pokemon I've seen when I was shiny hunting for a Charcadet, it was way above 25. Way above 25. Because I shiny hunted that as soon as I got Herba Mystica because I wanted a shiny Armor Rouge. I don't care if you think it's an ugly shiny, I think it's great because it's wearing armor. You're not seeing the body except in the eyes. That's a really nice detail. That is all I'm saying. Okay? You need to look past your preconcepts of how a Switch can handle things. Well, yes, again, Breath of the Wild is an amazing, beautiful game. I'm saying because of how empty it is, and whenever you fight enemies, that it can run smoother. Pokemon isn't that. They went from a handheld console with set encounters in these specific tiles to 3D open world environments that have Pokemon spawning constantly. That's a very drastic change, and they're doing trial and error. And Pokemon Legends Arceus probably was in development as soon as the Switch released. Because it can be, it's a spin off. So it doesn't have a deadline. And if it does have a deadline, you can make it 20 years after the Switch released. Maybe even 30, maybe even 50 years to perfect every aspect of it. Again, if it's a spin off, well, yes, it can be the mainline generation games. But if it's not the original format of the game, I consider it a spin off. My computer decided to fall asleep, so cut off my audio. So this is just going to be a very quick outro. Yeah, that is just my 2 cents. Because I feel like people have preconcepts like, oh, the last game they released that was kind of like this was really good. Why isn't this good? That is why. We do not know the background here. We do not know what happened before Scarlet Violet came out. If it was already that they were planning on making an open world, and then they started development on Legends Arceus, then yeah, it's no excuse. It's no excuse. But I do not see it that way. They were making a normal Pokemon game, like the DS games, and because of that, they had to essentially build the game up like that. But then Legends Arceus came out, a game they were, having the B team work on for however long they needed. And when they're like, okay, we're almost done, when should we like start showing commercials about this? And when is the release date so that we can finish it and get it out? They're like, okay, it's gonna come out here. We still need to work on these games. We are losing people. I don't think this is gonna do well. Like, okay, it will be fine. Or something similar to that. And when it finally came out, it did really, really well. They're like, oh crap. We can't take a step backward now because this did so well. So we're going to take a step forward and make it completely open world. Like, are you sure that's a good idea? We've been working on this for a while. Yeah, but we have to do this now. Otherwise, they're not going to let this down at all. Like, okay, if it ends up bad, I know if it ends up bad, it ends up bad, kind of thing. So, again, my 2 cents. Uh, just let it go and just hope to God that the next one is a lot better. Because they might take a few steps back. After all, this was poorly received by the audience. I think it's a fantastic game. I barely came across any problems. Unless you're actively trying to glitch out of bounds or stuff like that, it's not really that big of a deal. Like bits of lag, yeah, that's a problem for like one section. Everywhere else, it's fine. There's barely any lag, and it's perfectly fine in my opinion. And now they patched it where it's even less laggy, especially on water. So it's fine now. I think it's great. And heck, the DLC is coming out soon, so let's just hope to do that right. That is all. It's been your boy, Dragon the Dragon. Yes, that's how you pronounce it. because I think it's kind of funny. Anyway, till next time. Might take a while. I've been shiny hunting a lot, and I don't have recording software for my Switch. Becoming a YouTuber is expensive. Goodbye.